Good morning, students. So today we are going to start with another important topic of grammar, which is conjunctions. So let's start without any further ado. So what are conjunctions? A conjunction is a word or phrase which joins together words or sentences or parts of sentences. Now let us understand it with the help of some examples. So read the following sentences. So these are sentences without the use of any conjunction. For example, Ram went to school. Full stop. Arjun stayed at home. Next example, we can read. Full stop. We can write. Another example, I am not strong. Full stop. I am young. So now we will use conjunctions to join these sentences. So on joining, the first sentence would be Ram went to school, but Arjun stayed at home. Next, we can read, full stop, we can write. So after joining, it will be we can read as well as write. Next, I am not strong, full stop, I am young. So after joining, it will become I am not strong, though I am young. Hence the words but as well as though are all your conjunctions. They join together sentences and often make them more compact. Thus, they help to say things in a simple and short way. So, is it clear? Now, moving on. Conjunctions are broadly divided into two classes according to their functions. So, first is coordinating conjunctions and the second one is subordinating conjunctions. Now, what are coordinating conjunctions? Coordinating conjunctions join together words, phrases or clauses of equal rank or importance. That is, they are independent, not dependent on the other. For example, birds fly and fish swim. So, the two statements bird fly and fish swim are two independent statements, or you can say they are two statements of equal rank or importance. Let us take another example. Molly sang and Polly danced. So similarly, the two statements Molly sang and Polly danced are of equal rank and none is dependent on the other for its meaning. So some coordinating conjunctions are and, but, for, still, only, etc. Now next, subordinating conjunction. They join a clause to another clause where one clause is dependent on the other clause for its full meaning. So let us understand this with the help of an example. I will come if you invite me. So in this sentence, if you invite me depends on I will come for its full meaning. Independently, if you invite me has no sense. Now next, you will pass if you work hard. So similarly, in this sentence also, if you work hard depends on the sentence you will pass. Now moving on, next is correlative conjunction. So correlative conjunctions are the conjunctions used in pairs. For example, either or, neither nor, though, yet, not only but also, both and. For example, either Jyoti or Mohit is coming today. Now moving on, Compound conjunctions. Some compound expressions or phrases act as conjunctions. They are called compound conjunctions. For example, as soon as well as, on condition that, provided that, so that, in order that, etc. Now, for example, he took off his coat as soon as he returned home. Now, let's start with a few rules of conjunctions. These rules are really important, so note them down and learn them. They are frequently asked in your examinations. Now, first rule is hardly, barely, scarcely is used with when. So now, hardly, barely, scarcely, these are your correlative conjunctions, hence they would be always used in pair. Thus, hardly, barely, scarcely is always used with when. They are used when there is a short time gap between two tasks. Now, let us see how they are used in a sentence. So, while framing a sentence, the following format is used. So, this format is very important. Note this down. So, according to it, hardly, barely, scarcely plus your helping verb. Helping verb, for example, had, was. So, it's your helping verb. So, after hardly, barely, scarcely comes your helping verb. Then comes your first subject. And then it is followed by first action. You can call it A1. And then comes your when, which is again followed by subject 2, and then comes your action 2. Now, first action will be related to first subject. Similarly, just like first action was related to the first subject, second action will be related to the second subject. Fine. So, this is important. Now, tell me why helping verb is used before subject. So, the reason is very simple. We studied this in our previous topic called adverbs. So, what is that? When a sentence starts with an adverb, we follow law of inversion, and as we know, hardly, barely, scarcely, these are all your adverbs. Hence, we will use law of inversion, according to which verb comes before the subject. So, is this clear? Now, let us understand this with the help of an example. Hardly I had finished the decorations than the guests started coming. So, is the above sentence correct? The answer is no. So, let us find out the error. So, in order to find out the error, we will compare it with the format we just did and check whether it is following the format or not. So, according to the format, first will come hardly, then it will be followed by a helping verb, then comes your subject and then your action, right? So, as you can see, I is your subject over here, had is your verb, finish the decoration is your first action. So, as you can see here, the subject is coming first and then your helping verb, which is totally wrong. So, we will swap them and arrange them accordingly. So, the correct sentence would be hardly had I finished the decorations now. Again, here than is used, which is totally wrong. We will replace it with when, because with hardly, barely, scarcely, when is used, right? So, here when will come, Then comes your second subject, which is correct, and then comes your action 2, which is right. So the correct sentence would be, hardly had I finished the decorations when the guests started coming. So this will be your correct sentence. Now next, scarcely had I left the home when it began to rain. So this sentence is correct because it is following the format. First comes your helping verb, then your subject, and then your action. So, and followed by when. So this sentence is totally correct. Now moving on towards our next rule, which is no sooner than. Now again, no sooner is your correlative conjunction. It is always followed by than. So when two tasks occur one by one, then we use no sooner than. So again, let's see. So the following format is used for no sooner than. It's very important, keep this in mind. So according to the format, first comes your no sooner, then your helping verb. Helping verb can be do, does, did, and so on. Then comes your first subject, then comes your first action, followed by than, followed by second subject, and then second action. So now let us understand this with the help of an example. No sooner did the police arrive when the thief fled. So is this sentence correct? No. So let's find out the error. Now, so in order to find out the error, we will compare it with the given format and check whether it is following the format or not. So again, according to the format, first comes no sooner plus helping verb plus subject 1 plus first action plus than plus your second subject, and then comes your second action, right? So now let's match. No sooner, then comes your did, which is your helping verb. No sooner did the police arrive when now. As we all know, no sooner is always used with than. So hence when is wrong. Also, here arrived will be wrong. Since you have already used did, hence you cannot use the third form of verb over here. Hence we will change arrived into arrive. So the correct sentence would be, no sooner did the police arrive than the thief fled. Now next sentence. No sooner did these words escape his lips than she fainted. So the sentence is already following the format, hence it is correct. Now moving on to our next rule, which is either or. Now either or cannot be used for more than two. It is used when we have to choose one from the two options. Now let us understand this with the help of an example. Rahul is either rich or honest. Next sentence, either Jyoti or Mohan is coming today. Now next rule, neither nor. Now neither nor cannot be used for more than two. It is used when you have to deny both the things or options, that is negate both. Let us understand this with the help of an example. Neither Sohan nor Mohan is trustworthy. Another example, neither he comes to my place nor he talks to me. Now moving on, next is not only but also. So it is used when one person or thing is doing two actions or one person is having two qualities. So let us understand this with the help of an example. He lost not only his ticket but also his luggage. He visited not only Agra but also Delhi. So not only is always used in pair with but also. Now here's an important rule, keep this in mind. Care should be taken when using correlative conjunctions such as either or, neither nor, not only but also, that they are followed by the same part of speech. It's very important. So this rule is pretty important, keep this in mind. Now let us understand it with the help of an example. My father not only has sympathy for the rich but also for the poor. So as you can see in the above sentence, not only is followed by a verb, whereas but also is followed by a preposition. And we just did that they are followed by the same part of speech. By same part of speech, it means if but also is followed by a preposition, then not only will also be followed by a preposition. Hence, what we will do to make the sentence correct, we will shift not only here before the preposition for. So the correct sentence would be, my father has sympathy not only for the rich but also for the poor. So now this sentence is correct because here not only is followed by a preposition and but also is also followed by a preposition. Hence they are followed by the same part of speech. So this sentence is correct. Now moving on. So next is both. So both is always followed by and. So it is used in pair with and. So both and pair cannot be used for more than two. So it is used to accept both of the things. For example, both India and Korea are developing. This book is both cheap and useful. Now next rule, as well as. Now as well as cannot be used for more than two. Again, it is used to accept both of the things. Now here's an important rule, keep this in mind. When two subjects are joined by as well as, the verb agrees with the first one. Fine. So if two subjects, supposingly subject 1 and so supposingly there's subject 1, it is joined with as well as with subject 2, then the verb will be according to the first subject. So this is important, keep this in mind. So when two subjects are joined by as well as, the verb agrees with the first one. So this is important, learn this. So now let us take an example. He as well as they were present. So is the sentence correct? No. We just discussed this rule. When two subjects are joined together by as well as, the verb agrees with the first one. So here he is your subject and they is your second subject. Now, so here the verb will agree with the first subject. So hence he is singular. so the verb will also be singular. So instead of were, was will be used. So the correct sentence will be he as well as they was present. Fine. Next sentence, he as well as you is guilty. So this sentence is correct. So now moving on with our next rule, until, unless and if. So now unless shows condition, it is condition oriented, whereas until is time oriented. It means up to the time when. For example, until you told me, I had no idea. So this sentence means up to the time you told me, I had no idea. Now next sentence, until the lights turn red, no one will come. Now let us understand the difference between unless and if. So unless is your single negative, whereas if is double negative. So now let us understand this with the help of an example. I cannot open the box unless you give me the key. And the next sentence, I cannot open the box if you do not give me the key. So as you can see, double negative is used in this sentence in case of if, and in case of unless only single negative is used. Fine. So the next rule is lest. Lest is always used with should and otherwise is always used with will. So lest is used as a conjunction expressing a negative purpose, and it means so that not, or for the fear that, in order that not. So basically, in order to prevent, in order to avoid, so as to prevent any possibilities that lest is used. So lest is always used with should. It is basically used to show warning. Similarly, otherwise is also used to show warning. It is used with will. So now let us understand this with the help of an example. He fled the country lest he should be captured. Next, walk carefully lest you should stumble. Work hard, otherwise you will fail. So is it clear? So let's move further. So sometimes such is used with that and sometimes such is used with as. So when such is used with that, it tells the intensity of an impact. It basically tells you result. Intensity of an impact. Or you can say reason plus result. And when such is used with as, it defines same category. So now let us understand this with the help of an example. It was such a cold evening that we did not go out to play. So we did not go out to play. So this is basically the result, or you can say the intensity of an impact. Next, one should follow such rules as mentioned in the Constitution. So is the difference clear? So that's it for today. We will continue further with more rules and also a few practice questions in the next lecture. Thank you.